The knight that had me make this item, he made it bound to himself, so that whenever one speaks the command word and they hold this item in their hand, they see through his eyes. He spoke about how he traveled all the time and how his daughter, she did not like him traveling. Means to bring peace to his daughter, he thought it would be fitting to make this item for her. Not only can one see through the eyes of the individual that the item is bound to, but it allows them to speak to their mind. The one that the item is bound to, this trinket is bound to, they cannot speak back though. That was out of my capabilities. I can make some trinkets, and this is probably like one of the strongest trinkets I have ever made, and I wish I could have done more for this knight so that he could speak back to his daughter. But unfortunately, I believe the knight is dead. So, I don't even know. Maybe if one found his daughter and just gave it to her, maybe she'd be happy and be like, my father was thoughtful. I don't know. But you can tell her Vixen Dixon Vix sends his condolences. I'm very sorry for my loss.
Excuse me, what is the command word?
The command word is Corsa.
I just kind of like
And he smiles.
glance over and like, Corsa, huh?
Yes, this Corsa.
Was he holding the sword when he said it?
He was. You see his eyes get like really big. He's like, he's not dead. He's not dead, and he throws it to the ground. He's like, what's that?
Yeah, I just slapped the shit out of him real quick, and like, don't do that.
He completely freezes after you smacked him, and like you see a tear kind of forming in his eye. He's like, that guy, he's alive. How is he alive? And he kind of like he just sits down on the ground and his mind is blown. He probably wishes he was dead. Oh my God. By the 5. Oh my God. And he stares at the item. He's like, oh my God. What have I created? I'm disgusted with myself. And then he throws up.
Listen, Vic, what did you see?
He was his arms, and he like puts his arms against the walls. He's like, there were shackles. I can see blood all over his body and bruises, and there was this man in front of him, and the man was beating him. He was just beating him, and there were others bound to the wall too. I seen some frogman, some hideous frogman bound to the wall. You guys have that had to be on the surface. There aren't frogs that big down here. Our frogs are small. What kind of vile creatures do you have up there?
Did you hear anything, or can you only see with it?
I heard another voice crying out. The knight wasn't looking down. It sounded like the voice was coming from below him, at his feet. I don't know. You could maybe grab it and speak the word. I'm looking.
I pick up the sword and I take a deep breath and close my eyes for a second and shake my head for what I'm about to do. And just hold it and say, Corsa.
Instantly, you're seeing through the eyes of another, and you can like feel his pain as well. You can feel like just the anguish of his broken heart. And like as you kind of like look to your arms kind of pinned against the wall, you see blood and you see bruises. You see the bullywug that ran into the tavern at the end of the first session, who screamed in saying he knew about the whereabouts of Arcanus. You see him pinned to another wall. you see another man, a tall, slender man, just kind of beating away at the motley knight, screaming at him, I do better. I told you I expected more. You're such a disappointment. You will not fail me next time. And you hear another voice crying out to the ground. The man kind of steps away. He steps away for a second, and as he steps away, he looks to the motley knight, and the motley knight looks to him, and he says, "If you expect to live, I expect you to inflict as much pain on this one as possible before your new master gets here. You better have this one wishing for death." And at those words, the motley knight, as he's kind of strapped and pinned and beat, he looks down at who's at his feet, and you see at his feet.
You see what is his feet?
You see Fane.
So
And then as the motley knight is looking at a half beat to death Fane at his feet, he passes out from pain.
yeah, I assume that whenever I speak the words, it's like my eyes just roll in the back of my head, and I just like fall over, like kind of like convulsing on the floor, and I just like come to, just like I'm sure I've knocked over a shelf doing this shit. Just like
Yeah, you see Vixen Dixon Fix shuffling with his staffs. You knocked all over all of his staffs. He's struggling with one of them that every time he touches it, it turns into like a 5-foot silk rope, and like he's getting very frustrated with it. You notice there's another one that like it's completely off to the side, but it's sticking straight up. But yeah, he's trying to get all of his staffs back up onto the shelf.
Was it good for you?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I just kind of put the sword down and like put my hand, like put my head in my hand, and just like should have killed him. Should have killed him.
Yes, you should. You should.
Poor knight. Well, I'm sure his daughter will not be getting this sword. Yep.
He looks to you and he's like, I think that is a wise decision, oh wise great one with pretty bracers. And he starts tickling your bracers again. He looks up at you and goes, oh, I'll stop now. I'm sorry. The other project, though, that I was working on. Come with me. Come with me. I show you. I show you. He leads you into a back room, and you see like this like big sheet of this like almost like a black Jimmy type metallic metal, a big sheet of it. He's like, one of the knights that came through, he purchased this from the mine here in the city. He was commissioned to make some enchanted armor for him out of it.
You're breaking up.
And was taken. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Am I good? Okay. Yes, this big sheet here. One of the knights who came through, he was commissioning me to make this into a very fine suit of armor for him. It's going to be enchanted. I was going to go all out for it. Normally, this 2/3 needed up front. However, this knight had also seen that he would my son to the one he serves. He says that he had a great and powerful queen, yes, and he was going to take my son to her and gift him to her on behalf our city here. With this endeavor done, I'm going to begin this work campaign to the at the completion of the project, but it will be a long project. However, I don't necessarily have to make it into art. I since you folks will be taking my service, gift him, then I will try to do a project. It doesn't have to be armor. It could be I have, as you see. Yes, but also my project pricey.
All right, so I'll just you
But
went you
also
went full robot for that whole
the
thing.
work, though, the work would not begin until my son has been delivered.
Okay.
I went rope through it all.
Yeah, I think I got the
Mhm.
gist of it. The sheet of metal make magical armor. He could make whatever he wants from it. And I didn't get if he said that for in exchange for taking his son, that would equal out the cost of it, but it would take a long time, and he'd only consider it paid once his son was delivered. Um.
Okay, I think my connection's better now.
Okay.
But Vixen Dixon Fix continues. The project, though, will not begin until my son has been delivered. And then he kind of turns around to him and he shuffles with a desk, and he pulls out a candle and he sets a candle on a table, and he has another candle. Like he sets a candle on a table in like one hand, and then in the other hand he has like an identical candle. He's like, you take one of these candles, and when my son has been delivered, you light the one on your end, and when the one on your end is lit, the one on my end will magically light, and it will allow us to converse within the flames of these candles. Some of my finest trinkets, if I say so myself.
And so now, if I just want to call you up at any time, I can just light the candle.
Yes.
All right, so it's not a one-time use thing. We can enjoy each other's
Yes.
company as much as we want.
The candle burns quick, though. The candle
Okay.
burns quick. So if you when you light the candle, be sure to know what it is you want me to do with the supply that I have. That way we can quickly converse.
Okay. Sounds perfect. Outstanding.
Yes.
Could you make more of the candles?
Oh, I have many candles.
But ones that you could speak with? Through?
Oh, yes, I have many candles. Many candles like this. Vixen Dixon fixes many trinkets and many candles. I have whatever you need, I have. I'm Vixen Dixon Fix. Jeez.
There might be a market for those candles.
My candles are not for sale. My candles are not for sale. Nothing is for sale. Nothing.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
it's been a lovely time. Well, I will get your son. You know, and I'll come back for your son here, and about tomorrow morning we'll come and pick him up. I figure that by that time we'll have all of our supplies gathered and we'll be ready to head out.
Lovely, lovely. He nods
Okay.
and he just turns and he walks into another room. So, Teshik,
Yes, sir.
as you are around the five pillars and the headless statue, and you're meditating on Amora, or not Amora. I'm sorry, Alteriana. The gates behind you, they fling open, and you hear a gnome shouting. You don't speak gnomish or undercommon, do you?
Nope.
Okay, you hear a gnome shouting frantically in a language you don't understand. And you turn to see the commotion. And you see the gnome, this frantic gnome, um, assisting two badly injured gnomes into the city. They appeared to be just absolutely covered in blood from head to toe, and you instantly recognize them as the two gnomes that were accompanying and guiding Zarbin. And these two gnomes can barely walk. They're like kind of carrying them into the city, and they're kind of like crying out in pain. And as they come through, they quickly close the gate behind them and they head deeper into the city and they completely bypass you as you're standing there. What action do you take?
Like, do they even look conscious, or are they like unconscious bodies?
They're you can tell they're not fully there. I would imagine it would be similar to when you guys came in. Like you've been through hell, your life was hanging on by a thread. You know.
I'll like reach out and touch one of them and kind of let healing magic go out. And then I'll be like, be at peace, friend. What happened in the Underdark? Or what happened in the caves?
He falls to his knees and like his hands go down in front of him and he's just taking like massive gasp breaths. He looks up at you and he begins like wiping at his face to like wipe blood off of his face. He proceeds, your he proceeds, your friend was a stupid one. He was foolish. We found a statuette of a matriarch, of a maiden, of that devil god, and he summoned it. And we watched as it ripped him apart, piece by piece. Blood was everywhere. We ran into this temple, this place, and when we ran into it, it was a gruesome sight. One side there was an altar, and there was just piles of corpse just kind of piled around the altar. We were scared, and we hid under it. We hid under all the corpse to hide from the handmaiden. And then and she had the pieces of your friend, and she put it on the altar. And then we watched the wax handmaiden transform into one of the devil elves, and it began to burn his body. And it began to burn his body, and then his ashes, they took it, and there was this platform, and on the platform was the egg that we went to get, and they put all the ashes on the egg, and they cracked the egg. They beat the egg, but it cast some ritual spell, and it cracked open the egg, and the blood of the dragon, the mucus inside the egg, dripped out onto the ash, and under the ash there were these 8 skulls. And they began to transform and take the image of Drow. But they were like Drow and like Spider in one, but not like a Drider. It was something different. And they bore the symbol. They bore the symbol of the House of the Drow that is no more. I don't even know what we seen. And they began to talk, and we didn't know what they were saying. We didn't understand, and the monsters left. And then the maiden, the handmaiden, it grabbed this eye-type thing in the ash and some other things, and then it transformed into a giant spider, and it went away. And then we thought the coast was clear, and we got up. And when we got up, we were gonna come back here, but then these giant eder caps came, and we fought them, and we barely made it out. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. And he just starts crying.
See, Zarbin's made quite a problem. How did you get away?
We waited until all the monsters and the handmaiden, we waited until they were gone, and when they were gone, we thought the coast was clear, and we crawled out from all the piles of bodies. And then that's when the eder caps came. We're not the best of warriors, but we can handle eder caps, you know. So we fought the eder caps. It was the only way. We barely beat them, but we beat the eder caps, and we made our way back.
Wait, so how? If they left and you left, how did you not bump into them? Where did they go?
I don't know the city of the Drow. It's far way down. It's at least a 10-day down deeper into the earth. And in the chamber of the Drider, it's over this massive chasm. We guess that they must have went down there. We don't know, but they're long gone now. I'm not. No. We're safe here. That's all that matters. We're safe right here. I'm never going out of the city again. The king can't make me. I'd rather die than go back out there.
Can you describe again what the beasts they looked like?
It was so. You know what an eder cap is, right? An eder cap, it's like a spider human, I think. I don't know, but and they're like deformed and like bloated. Picture a beautiful drow priestess, or as beautiful as one of those ugly things could be. Picture one of those being transformed not into a Drider but into an eder cap, but it's still taking on more resemblance of the Drow than the eder cap. Its limbs were pretty much like spider limbs, but it still had the torso of a Drow and the head of a Drow, but it had the piercers and the fangs of a spider. It was an abomination if I've ever seen one myself.
Very well. I have something that I need to do, but you may continue. Thank you for letting us know. We were wondering what was taking so long.
The two bloody gnomes are assisted off. And what does everybody do?
So I'm gonna
I figured that we probably would have set up that Ryden and I were going to meet up with Teshik at the stones once we were done. I figured he'd probably spend more time there than we'd spend at the store.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we can say as a conversation between Teshik and this gnome is finishing up, you guys are making your way out, and you see Teshik consoling this gnome that's just broken and crying.
I was gonna say I still have a bit to do, but that's fine.
Okay, we can retcon. What were you wanting to do?
I guess I would see if I can sense any like spider-like beasts or anything like that near the outskirts of the city.
Okay, you go to sense and you don't sense anything.
This is very confusing, and I would utter to myself. Well, anyways, that would take like 10 minutes, so they'd be here by then. But I was just curious if anything was coming close or something, but it seems like it's not. So.
You make your way back into the city, and as you do, Elgin and Raider are making their way out to the 5 pillars and the headless statue.
I just walk up to Teshik. I'm like, well, we found out about, and I pull out the sword and kind of like hand it over to Raiden for a second. I'm like, you hold this for a second so I can talk.
He'll nod.
That thing was the Mad Knight, his trinket he was having made. So it allows us to look through his eyes, and there's some pretty terrible stuff going on right now. So
It seems like we have a lot of bad stuff going on. Zarbin doesn't seem to be with us any longer, but even more importantly, his death has caused a lot of problems. It seems like a new race was created, or I can't even understand these gnomes, but basically we may want to get out of here, but at the same time, getting out of here also means that we're deserting these people to what could be a very bad fate. I don't sense any problems too nearby, but it could only be a matter of time. I don't know.
what do you mean is death? Like, what the
It sounds like he tried to summon a demon, and the demon destroyed him. That's the best description that the gnomes would give.
That is typically what happens when you summon a demon.
But either way, it would seem that if we do stay here, we don't need to stay here on the accord of waiting for our companion to return. It would be on the grounds of trying to mitigate whatever problems he may have awoken in the dark.
I promise you there will be problems in the Underdark before and after this. That's all there is in the Underdark.
You kind of just see, like, Elgin gets really quiet. It's just shaking his head a little bit. He just turns around and starts walking off towards the castle. Like, just... like, it doesn't look like a pleasant walk. Like, he's moving with a purpose at this point.
I guess I'll follow behind you. I might mutter over my shoulder that yes, but these half spider creatures, half beast creatures cause these gnomes a lot of problem. Just one of them. I'm kind of worried what an army of them could do.
Do you want this hilt back?
Yeah, if you can say anything to me, I'm just kind of. Or,
Oh, he was handing it over to Teshik.
I could care less about these manufactured materials that you people seem to love so much. And I'll just blatantly ignore the hilt that you offered me.
He'll just drop it on the ground.
Yep. So, and I'll keep following behind Nigel.
Okay. So the hilt has been abandoned.
of course. Seems to be the way.
Seems so.
Seems to be the way of things.
Okay.
I mean, it's sitting
So
in the
you-
courtyard, so somebody might take it. Who knows? Yeah.
You guys make your way to the palace. When you go into the palace, the king is still in his food chamber. Robalcancall is there, the king Robalcancall, and also Vamajan Gaggleton is there as well. And it appears that the two of them are arguing in Gnomish. When you walk up, you understand what they're saying, Elgin. Do you understand Gnomish, Raider?
Raiden?
Yeah, Raiden. Why am I thinking Raiden?
No, he does not
Riding.
understand Gnomish. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
So
riding in.
Elgin, riding in.
No, it's like riding in. Think it that way. Like you're riding.
Raiden. Yeah.
So Raiden.
We'll get it eventually.
We're getting there.
We'll work on it.
Just keep correcting me. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll work on it. Okay, so Elgin, you understand them in Gnomish. It appears to just be like a little petty argument. And the king's like, "You embarrassed me in front of my guests. I'm appalled you would do that." And then the Gaggleton's like, "Well, you get your crap together. Know what you're doing. You're such a mess. Blah blah blah."
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys walk up.
Yeah, I just walk right up and I just lay a hand on Gaggleton's shoulder. Just kind of like one of those stop talking kind of things, and just in Novich I say, I need guides to take me to
You need.
the Drider's lair.
Oh, okay, what's going on?
It appears that a demon was unleashed by Zarbin and the gnomes that went to investigate. I need to go right now.
He looks over to one of the gnomes, and then he looks to the king. He's like, "This is your fault." And then the king's like, "No, no, it's not. No, it's not. You should have sent better men." And
I
then he's like,
slam down
"You
on the
wouldn't
table,
sent them."
just enough. This is not the time.
Gaggleton, as you slam your fist down, quickly turns his head and he shouts to one of the gnomes. He's like, "Hey, you there? Yeah, you take these gentlemen right now to the Drider's lair." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, the Drider's dead. Let's go. Yeah, yeah." And he comes up. He's like, "Let's go. Why are we going to the Drider's lair?"
Because demons run when good men go to war.
Oh, we're going to war? Okay, let's go.
And I kind of look over at Teshik and Raiden, and I'm like, I'm not.
Yes.
So what are we doing?
I shared your thought process. I feel like we came down here to help these people, and we've left them in worse state than we began. And this may be the only way to make it right, but I fear what venturing even deeper into the Underdark might mean. But I also feel like our job here isn't done, fortunately.
Don't worry, while y'all have me, y'all will be safe in the Underdark. I knew it like the back of my hand.
I guess that's reassuring, but I saw what one of these things could do, and I'm just afraid of an army of them.
Wait, which things are you afraid of?
These spider creatures.
The Driders?
Yes, but it sounds like whatever these new things are, they could be even worse. I'm not sure.
Well, at the very least, Driders are not common. It's very rare.
Okay, in Roll20, do you guys see the map of the Den of Folica?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, and there's also a Fog of War screen.
Yep.
Okay, cool. You guys head off with a guide to the Den of Folica, the Drider. And do you guys care if we take a quick break on that note?
No, that's
That's
fine.
fine.